Namaskar. Welcome to Nepal Polity channel. Thank you all for tuning us. This is Tipak Gajuril. I am Associate Professor of Political Science, Tiruvan University in Nepal. This channel, Nepal Polity channel and nepalpolity.com, the website, are the forum for the analysis of Nepal's domestic affairs, geopolitics, policy research, Himalayan Asia affairs, and international relations. Currently, we have a problem with India. Nepal and India are engaged in a sort of war of words on territorial disputes in the western part of Nepal. The territory, the location is called Lipu Lake Pass, Kalapani, Limpia Dhura. We have these disputes dates back decades, but currently it has resurfaced in Nepal politics. Some kind of protests are going on in Nepal states. The government of Nepal too has protested before India that you did encroachment to Nepal's territory. We have today Bindesh Dahal. Mr. Bindesh Dahal is a social science researcher. He has a good interest in geopolitics, good knowledge, deep knowledge on international relations. He analyzes things on international relations and diplomacy and geopolitical affairs from the realistic approach. We will try to discuss this Kalapani dispute between Nepal and India today. Namaskar, Bindesh Dahalji, and welcome to our channel, Nepal Polity channel.
It's my pleasure to be in this channel, chatting and conversing with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bindesh, for joining us.
Okay.
As I just noted that Nepal and India are disputing over the territory of Kalapani, Lipu Lake, Limpia Dhura, that is adjacent to Nepal's western border. Nepal claims that border. India too claims that border, that territory. What do you think is going on over there? What are the major reasons do you think behind this whole gamut? How do you see these things? Please, Bindesh.
First of all, I would like to tell all the audience and you as well that the disputed territories are not disputed at all from Nepal's perspective, because those lands, Kalapani, Limpia Dhura and Lipu Lake, belong to Nepal because we have got historical evidences. There are papers, there are maps, there are many accounts by several persons that clearly stipulate that all these lands, all the so-called disputed lands belong to Nepal. Especially, I would like to draw the attention of the viewers to the fact that one of the first maps that was drawn in 1827, and it was published according to Act of Parliament, British Parliament, because at that time India was a colony of Britain. And in that map, it is clearly shown that all these territories from west of Kali River belongs to Nepal.
And please let me be clear here, Mr. Dahal. Is that map drawn and officially accepted by the British Parliament after the Treaty of Sugauli between Nepal and British India?
Yeah, I think so. There was no dispute on that map till then. And then I'd like to continue. Another map was also published on 1830 and which was updated in 1846. And that map clearly shows that the Mahakali River, Kali River, and its origin from Limpia Dhura, which India is now disputing. Saying that that is not the real origin of Mahakali River, but this historical evidence shows that India is wrong. Kali originates from other Pankha god or something, a small reviewlet around the area,
Yeah.
which is not true. And the problem started from 1962 when India and China fought a border war, and then at that time Indian troops gathered in the disputed area, and then China won that war actually, and then uh, the Indian troops that were stationed in that area, they did not go away from there. And at that time, King Mahendra was ruling our country, and he also did his bit to remove the Indian troops from the territory, but unfortunately, Indians did not go away from there, and they Nepal tried its best to raise the voice to have them removed from there, and even when BP Koirala and even King Mahendra, when they were in China, and they were also of the same opinion that those lands belong to Nepal, not India. Therefore, the Indian troops should not remain there. But India kept on remaining there, and then the problem arose. And later on, when this border issue continued to be flaring up all the time, and then later on, when China, after reform and opening up, started aggressively to rebuild itself, and then it started to build road infrastructure facilities along the borders area with India and other countries as well. Since Nepal and China had already settled all their boundary disputes during the reign of King Mahendra, there was not
Yeah.
so much problem with these two countries, but India and China still have a large amount of large tracts of land that are still disputed, and these border
Yeah.
flare-ups still come up, and then they are in dispute. But Nepal and India, they have also largely settled their boundary disputes, except uh, this Kalapani area and Susta area.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, India has been encroaching upon our lands and even harassing our security personnel and even the villagers that are in the border
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah.
And it seems that they have some designs upon our sovereign territory, and the latest border conflict is also a part of that long-standing debate that has not been yet settled.
Yeah, Bindeshi, thank you. Let me add something. As you mentioned about the historical documents, the official map prepared by British India in the 19th century, that is 18, as you mentioned, 1827, 1830, and 1845, uh, and officially accepted by the British Parliament. We should remind here that it is important to know that there was not a country called India by then. The territory which is there, as we know, as India, was ruled by British government from the London. The official decision of House of Commons, the British Parliament, should be recognized even under the international laws and all other international and domestic instruments, legal instruments. So we have concrete historical and technical proof that the territory disputed by India is solely Nepal's, and there should not be any dispute. But as you mentioned, India controlled that area only after 1962 Sino-India War, when there was a war for I think 28 days, and India lost badly. And during that war, India stationed its troop in that area, the west of Nepal, and from that date, India has been controlling that area, stationed a huge amount of troops there, and now disputing that area, that territory with Nepal. Why this territory is disputed by Nepal, by India against Nepal? Nepal is currently, this issue has been raised in Nepali politics, domestic politics, time and again since last, at least last 20, 40, 25, 26 years. And this time, some 1 year back also it was raised in Nepal domestic politics, and it is now, it seems more serious than before, because Nepal government has officially declared that that area is solely Nepal's, and Nepal is going to publish official map including that territory into Nepal's map on the one side.
Yeah,
At the same time, India has spoken out, and very interestingly, India's army chief has spoken that someone else from outside Nepal is provoking Nepal to do the claiming of that area. What do you think is cooking behind the scene? India is acting aggressively and putting forward the military, while there is there can be diplomatic solutions and technical solutions. So why India is putting forward its military army chief into that debate? How do you see these things?
yeah. The Army Chief Narwane is speaking about Nepal acting at the behest of other countries in Kalapani dispute gives it a whole new dimension to the dispute, because now it is not only related to geopolitical or commercial or even border issue, but it has now been a let's say it is a what do you call it, an army issue, a military issue. And
Yeah,
now that territory especially is vital for India to stand up to China, because that territory holds is in a very geostrategic location
yeah,
from which India can manage Chinese aggression or encroachment or any other issue, and it does not intend to leave that land without a fuss. And Nepal has also committed several errors this period. It has not seriously raised the issue. Yes, it has raised the issue time and again with successive prime ministers in both Nepal and India, but there is not an intent or a seriousness to all these issues, because if there were seriousness, it would have taken the issue to the international committee, international forum as well, or even have it, Nepal would have taken China on board in this issue, because those disputed areas are trilateral tri-junctions. And then and also there were several opportunities when Nepal could have furnished its documents which prove that these territories belong to Nepal. It has only sent some protest notes or diplomatic notes. Even in this occasion, the government did that just to quell the anger of the people. But there was no seriousness, and India took us for granted in this issue that there will be some protests on the streets or in the parliament, but no substantive protest will be there, because that has been the history in Nepali politics, unfortunately, that we are not united in this issue, and we are not serious in this issue, because many leaders, they are afraid, or they are lured with Indian Indian emoluments or something like that. Then they have not raised this issue. Now that Indian Army Chief is saying that in Nepal is being manipulated by other countries, he may be signaling towards China, and he did not utter the name, but his strong implication was towards China. We can read that. But I think this is just for public consumption. India and China, they will not be in dispute regarding the issue of Kalapani, I guess, because the Chinese have their own commercial interests, because the trade between Tibet and India has been growing every year, and that Kalapani area will be the shortest route for China to reach to New Delhi and the big market of Uttar Pradesh through land border. And China would not like to lose that territory on behalf just to please Nepal. And India, for India, I already told that it is a very vital geostrategic location as well
Yeah.
as commercial location.
Yeah.
Therefore, both these two countries, and even in 2015, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping had also carried out an agreement to use the disputed Kalapani border for their bilateral trade and other issues. And they did not take Nepal on board at that time. We protested at that time, but protest fell on deaf ears. Therefore, there have been mistakes on our part as well, and and Indians and Chinese both they have taken us for granted, and now the military aspect is there, and it spells a very big disaster for us in the terms of
Yeah.
territorial integrity,
Yeah.
I think.
Bindesh ji, I would like to add something differently. India has a strategic military interest in that area. Since 1962, India has stationed its huge military power there due to the military threat from China. It suffered a great loss during Sino-India war in 1962. So India fears, if I leave that strategic military point, I will be vulnerable against China. So India seems to stay there in our territory. China, as you mentioned, China has the interest of military standpoint and commercial standpoint. In 2015, both Beijing and Delhi have agreements, bilateral agreements of trade and something like that, without informing or taking on board the Nepal government. They have their own interest in commercial sector and military sector. So, do you think that they will be on board with us if we try to bring India and China to solve that issue and bring our territory back officially? So, do you think China would help us, and India will show some kind of good relationship and friendship towards Nepal and China?
I would love both these two neighbors to do that, but the hard, cold reality is that I don't think that would happen, because we should understand that China will not take part in any trilateral discussion, or even if the issue is raised at the international forum, or even some people are saying that we should internationalize this issue take the issue to the international court for arbitration, I don't think China will entertain that, because China has the history of not obeying the instruction of international court in South China Sea, and it snubbed the Philippines argument there. The same will apply here, because China is a country of traders, and it has only commercial interest, and its commercial interest lies in India, not Nepal. Nepal is not a viable market, that big market for Chinese goods. And we have to also understand a little bit of world geopolitics in this situation, because the US and China are in a bitter war of words after this coronavirus. Even before that, during the after this Trump administration came into place, and US and China, now that they are in a trade dispute and they are talking about decoupling and cutting off trades, then China is looking for other avenues as well. And it is looking for the Asian markets, and India is the biggest Asian market. Therefore, we should notice, I have been noticing that even in these blame games around China, that China deliberately spread virus all over the world by suppressing the facts in the beginning, and all other blames. But India has not been blaming. Indian government itself has not criticized China on this regard, and if we look at Chinese media as well, because Chinese media are all government controlled media, they have not criticized India at all. This shows that they won't let their commercial interests be hampered by any political or geopolitical differences. And that is the reason why even the Global Times, which has been belligerently publishing articles against the US or the European Union or other Western countries, has been lenient, a little bit comparatively lenient towards India. Therefore, it sees that the Indian market should not be driven away with any political manipulations and other things. Therefore, I don't think, coming to our issue, I don't think that India and China will be lenient towards Nepal in settling the issue. And they seem to have a feeling, I don't know for sure, but they seem to have a feeling that those disputed territories are not important to Nepal as they are important to China and India.
Yeah, Bindesh, thank you. Let me sum up your opinion. You told that China has military strategic interest towards India and other countries, not that important relating to Nepal and the disputed that territory. China has commercial interest too, and Nepal stands nowhere in between. So China is very unlikely to heed our interest, our Nepal's interest. One point is that, and I would like to add another point. Going historically, in the past hundreds of years, China has very little done when Nepal was or is in some kind of crisis, political or other. Take, for example, the rule and the strategy of Bhimsen Thapa. We can go and dig the history, what China's role towards Nepal and Nepal's strategy by then. The global power equation was different by that time. But what China took the strategy and the relation or the behavior towards Nepal, I think remains the same still today. We can take the example of 1950 political change of Nepal, 2005 change of Nepal, or this Kalapani territory and India, China's stand or Chinese behavior. What I want to mention here is that China has very little done any favor, concrete favor, diplomatically or strategically or geopolitically, to the help of Nepal when Nepal was in dire need of that help from Chinese neighbor. The history shows. Another point is that. So we cannot be that hopeful that China would help, as you mentioned, of any kind, diplomatic or political or any kind of help in solving this territorial dispute raised by India. 2 points. And third point is, China would not be involved if this issue is taken into international forum, as you mentioned, into International Court of Justice or UN Security Council, because China itself is involved in those things, as you mentioned in the case of Philippines. Philippines, the territorial disputes between China and Philippines, the decision of ICJ, China is indifferent. So China will not, and certainly will not, involve in such kind of things for Nepal. So we have to conclude, we have to deal these issues by ourselves, and for that matter, we have to have some diplomatic, academic, and strategic strength by ourselves, not military strength, but we have to have diplomatic strength, diplomatic ability, and for that diplomatic ability to deal with India, to solve this problem and get our land back, we must have some kind of academic excellence. So we must be prepared, we Nepali people and the government, especially the government, related government agencies, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they must have to be prepared with well education, not education, well knowledge, strength of knowledge and diplomatic strength, and to deal with India diplomatically in the sitting across the table and solve that problem. The solving of the problem means getting our land back, the ownership of the land. Am I correct, Bindesh ji?
Yeah, you hit the nail in the coffin, because that is the thing we should be doing, and we have not been diplomatically sound till now. That was clearly shown during the time of Indian blockade as well.
Yeah.
As you see, during the Indian blockade, none of the countries except China was also not that vocal in favor of us, came to our rescue. And and India itself later realized that they had been committing a mistake, and they withdrew that blockade. But this also showed that we are diplomatically very poor in that.
Let me wrap up now. We do agree, as a student of political science, I do agree that with your views on this dispute, and we do agree that we have diplomatic weaknesses. We do not have that strength to deal diplomatically with other countries in our favor. You are saying that, and we must have that strength. Let's hope we would have some kind of strength to deal with India and solve this problem and get our territory back. Thank you, Mr. Bindesh Dahal, for being us today. Thank you. And namaskar.
Thank you. It was wonderful conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.